truth is an irony, just like animal farm. Justice mean inequity, so who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are them go so confused the call. Now by area why no better. We are them go so confused the call. One guy's oh yeah why no better. Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, you need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend on a nine come as them. Only baby obeka nice and yeah. So I want one over you too. Everybody was afraid. And until I learned to my cottage, I get 9. Once my boy dumping one and I see. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wansam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Akukudro for nyina dalima. Who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow your man set to me be a cacobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo. When you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo. Ne cross on my mo. Anya safwe mo ayini. Akukutro for nyina dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachi sa udi oma opipi numa. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence. Even journalists, silence. So then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless no they mean senseless, poverty no they mean useless. One day them go resist.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another edition of MyView Show here live on Today Ghana News TV, where Monday evenings we do well to bring you the most topical talk show on the airwaves in Ghana and beyond. And this evening we are doing just that. I'm saying every Monday evening. However, for the past couple of weeks, we have not been able to come on your airwaves due to circumstances beyond our control. And for that, we would like to say a very big apology to you for not feeding you as usual with your favorite talk show. But this evening, we are back, and we are back with a bang. I say back with a bang, not just because I'm saying so, But by the time I'm done with our topic for today and our guest for today, you would have known that when I said that we are back with a bang, we really are back and back with a bang. But why do I say we are back with a bang? Let me try and explain. You see, over the past, for the past couple of shows, or over the past few shows, what we have done have been to discuss some things, some matters that are internal to Ghana. We have discussed topics ranging from education to politics to economy and many others. But this evening, we are going to do one of the things that we have not done in quite a while, which is to broaden our horizon and to take our discussions beyond the shores of Ghana and visit the rest of the African continent. When I say visit, I don't mean just talking about them, but I mean really talking about matters relating to visiting the African continents and things that would facilitate that. So this evening, we are going to be talking about the topic surrounding a borderless Africa or a visa-free Africa. We would talk about the merits and demerits of that and how that can be achieved and why this is necessary in the first place. And to discuss such an important topic, we are aware that we need to discuss it with somebody whose personality and portfolio matches the topic. That is why we have gone for a big one. And a big one we have for today's show. Our guest for today is somebody who I think by the time the show is over, you would share in my opinion that this is somebody who really is in love with, borderlessness, as in somebody who likes visiting other countries and other African countries as well. But that is not what most of us know him for. Most of us know him as a Ghanaian politician, a Pan-Africanist, and a social activist. He is also a journalist, and I can keep going on and on. He is a man of many, many, many portfolios. But this evening, he's going to be joining us to discuss the topic for the day, which is borderless Africa or visa-free Africa. Our guest for today is none other than Honorable Ras Mubarak. Honorable.
Albert, it's good to see you. Good evening.
Good evening, and it's good to see you too. How are you doing?
Terrific. As you can see, we're gearing for a very historic journey to 39 African countries.
Wow.
So we are earnestly preparing. It's a journey that is going to take us through so many countries.
Wow.
Starting from Ghana on the 18th of August, into Togo, then into Benin and Nigeria and Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Congo DR, Zambia, Namibia, South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique. Then we climb up to the east of Africa. We do Burundi, Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda. Then we head to the north of Africa where we do countries such as Algeria and Morocco. And of course, we would have to. So if you look at the map of Africa, we want to start from the coastal area, which is from Ghana into Togo, which is another coastal area, way down to the western part of Africa, to Central Africa, then descend to the south, and then make our way up, and then we climb back to the west coast of Africa.
First of all, you are going to be a busy man. You are going to be a busy man.
It's going to take us
39. You said 39 countries. You
said 39 countries. It's going to take us 120 days if all goes according to plan. The same man proposes, God disposes. Per our plan, if no vehicle breaks down along the road, which would delay us, then we should be, once we start on the 18th of August, then we should be back in Accra on the 17th of December, ahead of Christmas. Wow. So it's going to be a journey of 40,000 kilometers around Africa. It would involve 600 hours of driving. And I'm quite excited and looking forward to it. I mean, I've done quite a lot of travels, 85 countries I have traveled to around the world. In the US, I drove for 42 days into 25 states.
Wow.
42 days nonstop. But this would be the longest.
You do know that the Americans who have not visited beyond, who haven't gone beyond their state, right?
Absolutely. But I'm very excited that we're doing this in Africa. Because Africa is so beautiful, Africa is the beauty that whose story is yet to be told. Africa has so much to give and to show the world that has been portrayed. Oftentimes, you hear stories about famine, war, crime, and violence, but they don't show you the beauty of the Tanganyika, the beauty of the Namib Desert, where the sea meets the Sahara, where the sea meets the desert. They don't show you the beauty in Egypt. They don't show you the beauty in Ghana, in Gambia, where you can watch several species of birds. They don't show you paga. So there's a lot to see. And for me, we're even going to be making whistle stops, which means we wouldn't be spending so much time. The average amount of time we would spend in each country would be 2.5 days.
Wow.
So
that's not enough time to explore a country.
That's not enough time to explore, but enough time to bring you the food of that country, enough time to show you a bit of a culture, enough time to showcase, sparks of beauty here and there.
At least you get a flavor. You get a flavor of the country.
You get more than a flavor.
Yes, then it opens a pathway for a future, visit to spend much more time. That's interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let's put a pin on this and come back to it briefly. I noticed that of all the things that you do, I said you are a man of many portfolios, but for this show in particular, and I've observed you across other media platforms as well, you seem to identify yourself a lot with Pan-Africanism. What is Pan-African? What does Pan-Africanism mean to you as a person? And why do you identify yourself? Okay, let's leave the why first. But to you, what does Pan-Africanism mean to you?
Well, once we go into what it is, that we must go into the whys. So since you've asked, let me explain why. Africa is the only continent we have. It's the only place I call home. Africa is the only place where I feel at ease and in tune with nature. Africa is the only continent that could give me all the opportunities there are in the world, and I believe in Africa's potential, to rise again and to feed its people and to create opportunities for the youth and to show the world that it's got what it takes. Don't forget, Africa's done it before in ancient times, whether it's university education, whether it's science, whether it's archaeology, whatever. Africa has done it time and again. And having been a man who's traveled extensively, the more I travel around the world, the more I get convinced that Africa is the place to be. Because these places do not have what we have. I mean, you've got what? Sunshine throughout the year, golden, bright, you've got beautiful smiles. You've got a continent that cares so much about the aged, where we don't dump our old people in care homes, where family system is well valued and respected, where time-tested values are honored. This is Africa, a continent where you could be traveling away and decide to leave your kids with your mother, their grandmother, and she wouldn't make a fuss because she takes pride in raising them. In many parts of the world, you can't do this. In some other parts of the world, people may be even telling you that, you have to pay money, for them to come and look after your children. This is a continent where you can leave your child with a neighbor and be at peace yourself. But it's also a continent that has been abused. It's also a continent that has been raped. It's also a continent that has been misjudged. It's also a continent where people have taken advantage of, not because she's stupid, but simply because she cares, simply because she has an open arm. And whenever she opens her arms to the world, they feel they can come and take what does not belong to them and exploit the genuineness, the love, the warmth, the reception, the hospitality, of the people of the continent. And so, as an African, I feel a lot of pain at the bloodshed, pain at the abuse of our people, pain at the corruption, pain at the theft of our mineral resources, pain of the rape of our women, and the killing and murder of our forebears, pain that somebody had to come and draw a line between our countries and divide us. I mean, take Togo and Ghana, for instance. One people speak the same language, right? Same culture, everything else. But look at, what the white man has done, to the extent that some people live in the other side of the line, comes to their farm in another part. Take Burkina Faso, for instance. I speak Dagbani. If I hear people speak Moshi, I understand what they're talking about, and they understand my language. All right? But we've been so divided. We've been so fooled into thinking that we are different. We're not different. And so what I seek to do and what I dedicate my life to doing is to make sure that, one, the continent unites. Secondly, to make sure that we are harnessing the continent's rich resources. There's so much. I mean, take the Congo, for instance. The Congo is one rich country with a lot of mineral resources. But the Congo has some of the bad roads you can think of in the world. It's not developing. So they come in, they take everything, they go and, they exploit us. And if you look at leaders who have sought to want to hold on to the resources for the benefit of the people, what have happened to them? Nkrumah, sadly overthrown, took us backward. You look at Patrice Lumumba. I mean, somebody even had to keep his tooth as a trophy. I mean, that's how wicked, that's how callous, people are being towards the sons and daughters of Africa. Yet, years and years down the line, we still allow these kinds of exploitation of our people, forgetting that I don't need to be in America. I don't need to be in Canada or Europe. Everything that I need to survive and to succeed is here in Africa. All right? We just need to put the right people in place and harness the right energies and bring our people together. Let them know that if we unite, if we are together, if we break down the barriers, I mean, people would have to pay a lot more to come to our part of the world. So I've chosen this path, one as a duty, but also as a form of my spirituality.
Good. Just let's stay on that a little.
Okay.
Having done this job a little for a while, when I talk to people, I ask you a question, and it's taking you quite a number of minutes to land where you are. You didn't land. And when I hear people speak that way, after the show, I go feeling that maybe there's a personal affinity or a story behind the passion that people have for a particular topic. And listening to you speak, I don't know whether you've ever reflected on this, but what is it this is something that all other Africans should feel. But what's the story behind this? Personally, to you, why is your Africanness so important to you that you wear it as a cloak every day?
Well, as a people, first of all, we've got to be proud of our heritage. We've got to be proud of who we are. We cannot take on a different identity beyond who we are. That's the first point. And for me, this is more than important because of the fact that Africa has what it takes to be a leader in the world. And so is the pain of traveling all over Europe, of traveling all over North America, of traveling in the Caribbean and South America and Asia, and seeing what others are doing, and the lack of transformational progress in Africa. And I'll give you a typical example. We got our independence well ahead of Singapore. Singapore got her independence 2 years and 3 months after Ghana got her independence. Singapore is highly developed. Now, if Singapore were to stop developing, were to stop advancing today, and we were to advance at the pace we are advancing, it's going to take us between 50 to 70 years to be where Singapore is today.
Wow.
And so if you're an African, and you've seen all of this, you know the history, you've read about what our people went through, the pain and suffering, and our people there's still pain and suffering being inflicted on our people, and you see the leaders dining with the devils. It makes you want to do something about it. I mean, who wouldn't want to spend all the time with their family and their kids? I've got 5 kids. The youngest is under 2 years, but I've taken it upon myself to journey across Africa, taking me 4 months by road, with all the treacherous nature of the road and risks. My brother, somebody's got to do it. Our forebears took the bullet. Some died. Some got lifelong injuries, just so we can have a country called Ghana or Nigeria or Botswana or South Africa. The least we can do is to preserve her and to make her better than what was bequeathed to us. And so it's a burning desire of wanting to leave this earth, knowing very well that I made some sacrifices, not for myself, but for my children, for my grandchildren, but for other people's children, for Zimbabweans, for Kenyans, for Namibians, for Somalis, for, Malians, for Nigerians. We would have to make sacrifices, all of us. And so if we begin to go about the business of transforming Africa and changing the mindset of our people by saying that, look, it is government, we're not going to get anywhere. I mean, look at the landmark and historic and bold decision Kenya took just yesterday. In January this year, they allowed for visa-free access by Africans and majority of our people from the Caribbean. But they came to realize that it wasn't even far-reaching enough, because when they implemented the visa-free policy for Africans and many Caribbeans, there was still a requirement to do an ETA, that's an electronic travel authorization, which was a bit of a challenge for some people, though, even though, it's better than nothing. Yesterday, the 13th of July, they took a giant historic move by even eliminating ETAs, electronic travel authorization. So if you're an African holding an African passport, except for Somalis and Libyans, obviously because of security reasons, and pretty much a lot of the countries in the Caribbean, you can pick your passport and just fly to Kenya and have a good time. And you know what that means for the economy of Kenya? More government revenue, more local jobs. That is what we should be thinking about. And you're in Europe, you're in Germany, you see the seamlessness of travel, and I've done road trips a lot within Europe, and I see the seamlessness of these travels, either by road or by train or by air. Today, you don't see that in Africa. I mean, the roads are terrible. We're not putting in place a real infrastructure simply because there's no goodwill. Simply because our leaders would go on and on and on about meetings at AU or ECOWAS or SADC and come back to zero. I mean, look at the Agenda 2063 of the AU to make sure that by the year 2063, the whole of Africa is borderless. I don't know. I may not be here. I don't know about you. How many of us today would be there when this 2063 come? Why can't you do it now?
I tell you what. I tell you what. Let me share with you my experience from my day job. I haven't worked in border communities, between Ghana and Burkina Faso for a while now. I can tell you that the very people who sit in the conferences and discuss the free travel and everything, they are the impediment between the people in the border who really want to integrate or who really are integrated. But those same people are the ones who put impediments in fostering integration in border communities all along their borders. And I could share countless stories with how families struggle to do things, normal things, attend a funeral, attend a party,
social events,
and they go through hell just to do that. And these are probably things that are done from above. As for the people from below, they are fine with it. They are good to go. It's the people above who are the problem. But having spoken with you have gone through a whole range of things that we can go into. Probably on another occasion, we can have time to talk about. We make more time. Then we talk about the broader level items. But I would like us to now zero in a little to talk about this trip that you are embarking on. At the beginning of the show, you said you were embarking on this trip, about 4-month trip around Africa, visiting a total of about 39 African countries. I did say you were going to be a busy man. So I don't want to add to your stress this evening. So you know what I'm going to contribute? My contribution to distressing you would be to ask you to, today we're going to go on a very early break so that you can take a sip of water and then relax just for a few minutes. We go on a short break. When we come back, we take some messages from our viewers and listeners. Then we can narrow down on this trip of yours and go into discover the whys and the hows, and then which other people are involved in this, and how you can get other people to embark on this journeys that you are embarking on. So if you just tuned in, this is my view show here live.
Don't miss a beat, stay tuned tight. The best of the best, shining bright. Tune in now, it's not a game. Today Ghana news, it's your clan. Tie with Francis, a unique delight. Don't miss the magic, shining bright. Tune in and see the best of the best. Today Ghana news, you'll be impressed. In a few weeks, a new adventure. Francis Jalil, we're ready. From the beach to the dance floor. Don't miss a beat, stay tuned.
Hallelujah. Enka osro hine. Ka apostle Stephen Amuakuhu okwantrofo penyi ene kofa baye edema Inner World of God Ministry International ewa biblical truth. Miminda ediye nimi ene miminda bia. Abra abo enumre nonso Ghana time. Yeyini life ewa Today Ghana News TV. Biblical truths. Power.
Hello, welcome back to MyView Show here live on today Ghana News TV. This evening, we are broadening our tentacles and we are looking at discussing borderless Africa, a visa-free Africa. And our guest for the show has been Honorable Ras Mubarak, who is joining us to discuss this topic and to delve in it in detail. But before we continue with the show, we would like to say a very big thank you to our viewers and listeners who are joining us today. We say a very big thank you to our listeners on Sakina Information Center in Tatali. And we also say thank you to our listeners on High FM 93.7 in Achuihimai in the Eastern region. Also, a big thank you to our listeners on the King's Radio in Accra, and also to all our viewers and listeners who are joining us on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on all other platforms that you may be joining us this evening. We are grateful that you have joined us and that you have always joined us. So today we take some comments from our viewers and our listeners, and then we proceed to go into the meat of today's topic. So, Nantafrim, good evening to you. Okay, you say good evening. Greetings from Tatali, Northern Ghana, and Sakina Information Center listeners. My special greetings to Honorable Ras Mubarak. Please kindly ask him when is he Okada? Okay, I think what you mean is when his Okada motors are coming to you in Tatali. Okay, we'll put that across to him. Robert Kimpi. Robert, good evening to you. You say greetings and you're watching from Paris. Thank you for doing the watching as usual. I know Honorable Ras Mubarak to be a Rasta man. Wouldn't it be also prudent to use reggae music also as a tool for campaign to unite Africa? Well, an interesting idea. Thank you, Robert. Frimpong Buffy, Frimpong, you say wonderful show. Thank you, and very educative. We are very grateful that you are watching us. Kindly ask him how did he select the personalities doing the tour with him. You are watching from Akusi near Somenya. We would do that, Frimpong, for you. We'll do that for you. Sweet Mother Tete. Sweet Mother, you say good evening, and you are watching from La. Thank you to you for doing the watching. Good, Sweet Mother. We are grateful that you have joined us this evening. Mavis Boateng, you say, instead of being happy, Honorable Ras Mubarak is making me sad. This is a painful truth we need to hear and teach our children. You are watching from Lisbon in Portugal. Thank you very much, Mavis. But maybe you shouldn't be sad. You should be happy that he's bringing this to our attention so that we can take action on it. Kweku Adai, you say more fire, Honorable Ras Mubarak. You are watching from Amsterdam, Holland. Thank you very much, Kweku, for doing the watching. Sekapa family, you said good evening. Good evening to you as well. You are watching from Jumapo, Nyakoforidia. Please ask him who is sponsoring the trip. We would ask him, why do you want to join him, Sekapa family? Lady Mal _2, you say, thank you, Honorable, for fighting for our children and the future of Africa. You are watching on Twitch from St. Petersburg, Russia. Thank you very much, Lady Mal, for joining us. We are grateful for your audience and your attention. Kwasi Insia, you say, good evening. You are watching from Amolo Town in Koforidia. God bless you, Honorable Ras Mubarak. God bless you to Kwasi for doing the watching this evening. NDC Diaspora Union, you say, Honorable, you are the real deal. God bless you and your team. Thank you very much, NDC Diaspora Union, for doing the viewing. We are grateful to you and to all our viewers and listeners. Asempa Hene Boachi, you see, you are watching from Achinhimai. God bless you, Honorable. God bless you too, Asempa Hene Boachi. Thank you very much for joining us. And so, for those who have sent comments and all those who have not been able to send or whose comments have not come through, we say thank you for doing the watching and the listening. And we welcome back our guest for today, Honorable Ras Mubarak, so that we delve into the show. Well, Honorable, before we go into the show, Totally, people were asking, did you promise them or some Okadas?
No, we have a company called Okada Motors.
Oh, okay.
We have developed a mobile app, a ride-hailing app,
Okay.
but specifically for Okada riders.
Okay.
And this actually fits into our Pan-African agenda. Because if you look at all the ride-hailing apps in Ghana, Yango, Uber, Bolt, they're all foreign companies. But they're in Africa, they're making money. They repatriate their profits to their countries. Yes, we want foreign investors to come and invest in Africa and in our country, but it's important for Africans to also get into that space. So we developed an app for motorbikes. For those who are in Accra, you can easily, go on any of the app stores and download Okada Moto. And I'm sure that was why the brother from Tatale was asking when we would come and implement the program in Tatale. So hopefully, in the fullness of time, we would come to Tatale, but not to do Okada Moto, because the geography of Ghana is such that for those of us from the north and part of Volta region and even parts of Central region, we don't do Okada because everybody has a motorbike in their house.
Of course.
But there are the tricycle riders, the yellows, the Muhammad Kambus.
Okay.
Some use the tricycles to go to farm, to the markets. And a lot of these riders are not trained, they are not disciplined, and they are causing accidents on the roads. So hopefully in the fullness of time, we would want to move to every corner of the country and train all forms of riders. I mean, if you look at the accident ratio in Ghana currently, just to digress a bit, just last year alone, more than 2,000 Ghanaians died from road accidents.
Wow.
Now, these are wives, these are husbands, these are children, these are toddlers, these are breadwinners, these are all manner of people who have died on our roads as a result of our own recklessness. And we are not even outraged as a country. We are not even, 2,000 of your citizens dying is alarming. I don't know what the statistics are in Germany, but I'm not sure it would even be up to 500 a year. Now, so part of the reasons why we're having these number of road accidents is because of indiscipline on the roads. Drivers and riders don't know how to drive. So what Okada Moto we're doing is to train riders, then we onboard them on the app. So you don't come on our app unless we train you to go through all the road signs and everything. We onboard you. And the thing I want to say finally on this, accidents in our country, and why we all, not just in Ghana, but all over Africa, and why we all need to be, patient on the road. You see a lot of road rage. You remember COVID, when COVID came in the year 2020. Between 2020 and 2022, that's in a space of 2 years, less than 1,500 people died from COVID. I'm not downplaying the death related from, the COVID related death. I'm not downplaying it. Yeah. But less than 1,500 died. When COVID came, you couldn't even go to a mosque or a church or a school or board a taxi or even a trotro without a nose mask. The police will catch you and give you some lashes. Community leaders would not accept it. And government had pumped in so much money to combat COVID. Yet in 2 years, less than 1,500 people died from COVID-related sicknesses. You have 2,000 of your citizens dying from road accidents. You should be outraged. And you should be calling for action. So these are some of the advocacies we want. I mean, when we say we want Africa to change, it's not just change in economic circumstances, but even how we behave, even how we do things, how we conduct, we carry ourselves, how we go about things, the discipline in our communities. These are the changes that we really and truly want to see in the continent of Africa. And I believe every son and daughter of Africa would put their shoulder to the wheel. It is only Africa we have. I mean, you could have an European passport. If they want to take it away from you, they'll take their passport, and you can't do anything about it. Africa, your home, is the only place nobody can take your citizenship and nationality away from you. So it's good for people to travel abroad and I see a diverse group of people who follow you from Lisbon to Paris to Amsterdam to St. Petersburg in Russia, all over the place. We salute them. I mean, the remittances you guys bring to Ghana is part of what is keeping, body and soul together for many Ghanaians. But we have to fix Africa, and not just those of us at home, but those of you abroad. All of us would have to put our shoulders to the wheel to make Africa work again. I used to live in Norway. After 2 years, I got so tired. I said, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
that's an interesting topic. I'm not sure if we start that topic, we can end this show.
I mean, the place is freaking cold, and in winter everybody's depressed. Nobody's talking to anybody, and by 4 p.m. it's already dark.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic that when you discuss with
but I
people.
understand people have to do what they have to do to survive.
Yeah,
and that is why, whilst we are away doing what you have to do to survive, we have to be putting heads together. We have to be doing things that would make our continent unite. I mean, if Ghana is good, or if Nigeria or Senegal or Egypt is good, who would want to go and live in another person's country to be called a second-class citizen?
Of course. I mean, we see you can always try and visit other places, integrate, belong, but the truth is that you can never become.
Africa is home.
You would always be who you are. You would always be from your roots, and your roots shall always define you. And that's why this trip of yours that you are taking is quite interesting. I see that a number of our listeners had some questions for you, but let's build up to that.
Okay.
So this about 4-month trip that you intend to embark on, how did this idea come about? What went into the thinking?
Good question. People spend money to go on holidays in Europe and North America, and sometimes they even get disrespected. Somebody who's a genuine businessman in Ghana or anywhere in Kenya or wherever, they are going to spend some 1 week, 2 weeks. They're asking them. The questions are so intrusive. Bring your bank statement. What do you do? All sort of, pardon my French, nonsensical background checks. Right? Yes, some may go and, some other people would go and not come back. But the intrusion into people's personal lives these days, when you're filling forms online for visas, is just mind-boggling. So I haven't traveled around the world extensively. I thought, why don't we go on a road journey across Africa? But also thought, wait a minute. Do we just, pick our vehicles and just drive around Africa and come back? That would have been self-aggrandizing. That would have been, you're doing something for yourself. Why can't we turn this into something bigger than us and campaign for a visa-free Africa instead of just driving and having fun and chilling and coming back home? So that is how the whole thing came about. And then I bounced it back. A friend of mine who said, yeah, let's do it. And already we had planned to actually drive to Lome earlier.
Okay.
When this whole protest came. I remember vividly, I had gone to do renew my international driver's license and done my card and tay and all of that. And then the protest started, and we felt, now that we want to go and chill small in Lome, this is happening. Can we turn this into something else? And most of my work is, remotely. I can sit anywhere in the world and communicate with my staff and supervise, and I can monitor on cameras in the office to see what they're doing. So I have that flexibility, to travel around. And my friend said, let's do it. And then when we rounded up the numbers, do you want 20 days on the road? It was almost $200,000. But we said it was worth it. And so if it is worth it, let's bring other people on board instead of just, doing it by ourselves. So we reached out to government and told them that, look, this is what we want to do. We want to travel around Africa and promote a visa-free policy for all African countries now, not just in 2063 as the AU envisioned. And the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, wait a minute, we're on board. This actually dovetails into our own agenda. We said, great. One headache or hurdle is taken care of. At least you have official government of Ghana endorsement.
Yeah.
What do we need? We need vehicles. We need, to cover hotels. We need visas to some of the country. Can you imagine that even Cameroon, just here, back door, we have to get visas to go to Cameroon. But we started speaking to companies. I first spoke to Graphic. They said they were on board. I spoke to radio stations. I spoke to newspapers. I spoke to online newspapers, and then before I realized, everybody wanted to be a part of it. Now we're getting calls from all over Africa. Some are saying, oh, we'll take care of your accommodation. Some are saying, we'll take care of your fuel, your car servicing. I mean, that is the spirit. You always have to start something. And if it is positive, if it is not selfish, if it's not self-serving, if we were just going to go for fun, to satisfy ourselves and to chill, I'm not sure anybody would want to pay for us and, give us free accommodation, etc. But because this is a worthy cause that is bigger than ourselves,
So, for all intents and purposes, this project revolves around you. So you are kind of the coordinator, or if you like,
you can call it the brain behind it. Yes,
exactly. And you said you spoke to your friend, and your friend came on board. So is this a group, you and your group of friends, or this is open to other people? Who are the people who are embarking on this journey with you?
Good question. So my friend is Dr. Sumaila Mohammed. He runs a company called The Admission Experts. They are in Asia and Southern Africa, etc. And then I got calls from another friend of mine who said, look, last year I traveled from Accra to Cameroon and back to Accra. Yours is very ambitious. I want to follow you with my car. I'm like, okay, let's do it. He says, I've got somebody who also speaks French. Okay. I'm like, that is good. Because along the way, we might need French.
Of course.
And then somebody also called me and said, look, I speak Arabic. I'm like, okay, that is good. So that is how we built, the team of people who are embarking on this journey. And the interesting thing is, I spoke to Assassin Radio. They're like, okay, we want to send a reporter.
Wow.
Then I spoke to GBC. GBC said, Ghana Television said, look, we just don't want to send a reporter. We want to send a crew. So like with our own car following you and documenting this historic and groundbreaking event.
Wow.
Spoke to Liberia Broadcasting System. They said, look, for West Africa, we would do West Africa with you. Channel Africa wants to do West Africa and, Central Africa. So as the day goes by, as we get closer to the start, we're getting more and more interest from business people who just want to go and have that experience. Because, truth be told, if we said we were going to fly to 39 African countries, that wouldn't have been news.
Of course.
But to drive,
that's flying. That's
600 hours of driving.
Yeah, but so as it stands, the core group of people, minus the media crew, how many are you?
Yeah. So the core group of people, we are 8.
Okay.
Including, so we've got a mechanic on board, even though the vehicles are brand new, but you want to be sure your preparations are well thought through and covered everything, because you'll be driving in all manner of terrain, in desert situations, in mountainous. If you go to Southern Africa, it's mountainous. If you go to the Congos, the roads are terrible. You've got a variety of weather conditions and road conditions. So we wanted to make sure that there's a mechanic on board just in case one of the vehicles broke down. And then we have, drivers. So anyone who is coming with us should be somebody who knows how to drive and has experience driving. That is the first criteria. Now we want everybody on the trip to have the feel, to experience it. Oh, Charlie, I drove in the Sahara. I drove in Kenya. I drove in Ethiopia. I drove in Togo. I mean, that alone is an experience worth keeping with you for the rest of your life. So all of us will drive, and we're doing maximum 8 hours a day. We don't want to drive in the night because of security reasons, etc. And this is going to be fun. I can take you through the countries. So we leave Accra on the 18th.
Okay.
We stop in Togo briefly.
Okay.
Then we drive to Cotonou in Benin. We'll sleep in Benin, spend another day in Benin. Then we drive to Nigeria, straight to Lagos. Lagos, we'll go to Abuja, which could take us about 7 hours to get to Abuja because of traffic. Yeah. Lagos is a city with a population of more than 30 million people. So from Nigeria, we'll do Cameroon, and then we'll do Equatorial Guinea, then Gabon, then Congo, then Democratic Republic of Congo. Then we'll come into Angola, then Zambia. Then we'll do Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania, Burundi. Then, so from Zimbabwe, then we enter, from Zimbabwe and Malawi, then we're entering Eastern Africa, which is Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, etc. Right? Then we've got Namibia also in, Southern Africa. We've got Central African Republic. We've got Chad. We've got Niger. We've got Algeria, Morocco, Mauritania. So after Mauritania, then we are coming home, because then we do Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Conakry, Sierra Leone, Liberia, the Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, then into Ghana. Then we spend the night in Kumasi before we head back to Accra.
Let me tell you what. By the time you come back, you're going to have so many stories that I propose you probably write a book.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to write a book on this journey. I think that's a good suggestion. It's not something that I thought about, but this odyssey, this journey alone can make a book.
Yes, and from the interest that you are generating, I wouldn't be surprised whereby you get some countries and you probably get some people who join you on the way, halfway through the journey, and they go back home. Because
one Nigerian senator contacted me and he said, look, I could join you from, from Nigeria, when you come into Nigeria to Southern Africa, somewhere, Namibia, and then fly back. And then I've got somebody who's joining us from London, who's a Ghanaian joining us from London. He'll do a couple of weeks, then he also flies back because of the nature of the work. So wherever you are, if you're watching and you feel like you want to join us, and you have your own vehicle, that is robust enough, you could reach out, and then we discuss the modalities.
Yes. Now they say sometimes I'm sure that you would have thought deeply through this journey, and while planning it. Have you considered maybe like mapping out which areas probably that might be a little bit difficult, where probably you feel that reception there might be a little challenging, and have you tried to find ways of trying to navigate some of those places, or you avoid them all the same?
Look, so there are places where there's currently ongoing conflict or insecurity, and so for those areas, we try to avoid them. You're looking at Somalia, you're looking at Libya, you're looking at Mali, Djibouti. We're trying to avoid them as much as possible because safety is also very important. But we're in Africa. We don't envisage going anywhere and not be received warmly by our African brothers and sisters. You know how it is in the village. If you're in the city and somebody travels so far away, even if they didn't tell you they were coming, you give them hot water to bath and food to eat and a place to rest. And then the next morning you ask them what brought them.
Interestingly, it is those who have the least who are the most warm and receptive.
Yeah. You know, so I wouldn't consider this a difficulty or challenging. I mean, Albert, people died for Africa. For listeners who have followed Africa all these years, for several times they tried to kill Kwame Nkrumah. They didn't succeed until they overthrew him. At one point, they shot him. He had cancer. At another point, they planted, flowers, bombs in a bouquet of flowers and give it to kids. I mean, this is what imperialists have joined hands with our own people to do to us. You look at Lumumba, you look at what is happening. I mean, look at Thomas Sankara, a guy who was doing very, very well for the country. So more often, if you've tended to love Africa more and want to see the unification and the progress of Africa, they'll take you out. So the point I'm making tonight is, I mean, people have put their lives on the line for us not to be colonized, even though there's still vestiges or remnants or little bits of new colonization, right? But at least we can say we are fairly free. If people died in that process, Sergeant Adjete and co were shot just for protesting for better conditions of services. If Thomas Sankara was killed through that, if Lumumba lost his life because of us, because they want to protect the minerals we have for us and not to allow people to come and exploit us as we are seeing today, then what is difficulty driving on some rough road for 120 days? No, it's not. It's not one bit. So whatever it is, we will take it in our stride and we would see it as part of the experiences. Nothing good comes easy. Africa is not going to be liberated with everybody, sipping tea and having a good time. It's going to be a struggle. We would have to fight, and this is part of the struggle. Probably not fighting with guns and bombs, but spending our time, our resources, leaving our families behind. Look at what went on at the Sharpeville massacre in South Africa, right? What you call it, Nelson Mandela and co went through just to have liberation. What Robert Mugabe and co went through just for the continent, for their countries to be liberated. Some of their comrades died in the process. And yet we can put our lives on the line. We love our lives and the comfort we enjoy, more than what we can do for the next generation. Because that's how the European thinks. That is how the American thinks. How do we think as Africans? We can't think beyond the next election.
The one question that we probably wouldn't have a lot of time to go into, that I wanted to put to you, was to pose this to you. I mean, we talk about we are talking about borderless Africa and visa-free Africa, as something that you are championing. At least what we know is that in the various sub-regional organizations, right, all of them have one form of free movement or the other. ECOWAS, we have the 90-day pass where we can have people spend at least 90 days. But you don't see a lot of Africans showing a lot of enthusiasm in visiting their fellow African countries. But what we see is have a lot of people, as in the case of Ghana, as you may be aware, have a lot of young people queuing up in embassies under the hot sun and trying to go outside Africa. The question that a lot of people ask is, why is this the case? Is it that we don't seem to appreciate what is here, or that we feel that we've given up on the continent and, we feel that it is only by, going across the shores of the continent that we can.
Well, you're absolutely right, because we have been brainwashed. We have been programmed to believe that everything and anything from Africa is backward, including even our ways of worship. And you are in Europe. Look, if you go to Brussels today, there's a place where they feel if you come and touch it, you get good fortune. Isn't that paganism? But they still cherish it. If you go to Milan in Italy today, and I've seen all of these places, there's a place you can, step your foot in the heart of Milan and then turn clockwise 360. They say if you do that, you get good fortune. What is this? Is it not superstition? Is it not paganism?
As a matter of fact, in Cologne, near Bonn, where I am, there's a place where couple go to lock a padlock by the river and through the key.
In Paris and the Seine River,
they will be united forever.
All over the place. Yet we were told our forebears' ways of worship is bad. Look, today a lot of countries in Africa are dealing with problems of obesity, and it's costing governments a lot more because we are eating more and more fast food and sugar, etc. We don't eat our ayoyo and shure and contombre and the greens that made us healthy, that made us live till 90s and over 100s. Look at life expectancy in Europe and look at life expectancy in Africa. In Ghana is about 57. So if you're a Ghanaian and you cross 57 years, you are a lucky person, because per the data, you are supposed to die by 57 years. All right? So it's a result of the programming of our people to make us take even education, take even health. And I'm sorry to say this, and may the soul of the late president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, rest in peace. He died in London seeking medical attention. Why can't we build these hospitals in Africa? And it doesn't take anything. Abed, I've seen it all. Canada, America, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Asia. They are not superhuman than us. But when you have been programmed to look down on your kind, when you've been programmed to look at black as bad and white as good, then we've got a crisis. And that's one of the banes of Africa. People come in and they take all of our minerals out, and we don't look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. Fantastic. It needed to take one bold leadership. Why can't we all do these things? We don't benefit. I mean, go to Obuasi. I don't know whether you've been to Obuasi.
I've been.
Town that has given us, tons and tons of gold over hundreds of years. I mean, this is not how Obuasi is supposed to look at. Go to the western region of Ghana. A section of Ghana that has gold, that has cocoa, that has bauxite, that has diamond, that has oil. The roads are an eyesore. That is the reality of the people. Look at the Congo.
Okay, let's bring it to.
All right.
Let's bring it to.
So let me land on this.
Okay.
So Bob Marley said, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your mind. Have no fear for the atomic energy. Have no fear for what the West can do for you. Take your mind out of the brainwashing into thinking that everything in Africa is bad and everything in Europe. I mean, look at the poverty. If you go to the States, places like California, I've seen poverty the kind of poverty that I've never even seen with my two eyes before. I mean, drug abuse, gangs. Look at London, knife crime. In Accra, 2 a.m. you can be out there and still feel safe. In many parts of Africa, the story is the same. And yet they would not show knife crime in London on end on TV, but they'll show you some war in Somalia or somewhere, and you know.
Indeed, the struggles of Africa are well documented, but its triumph are hidden deep down the bellies somewhere, never to be seen or never to be heard. Before I pose my final question to you, there's a comment by Zula, who is watching us from Mbe in Tanzania. He says it is cheaper to have open borders than closed borders, as visitors come and spend a lot in the
Absolutely.
country.
I
And
mean,
he
look at
says,
airport taxes. If you were to fly into any country, your ticket component, there are taxes on the ticket. So you're paying taxes to the country you're flying into. You sleep in a hotel, you buy food, you pick taxis or trotro or whatever you want to call it, or yellow or whatever. So you create jobs. Tour guides. I mean, now we don't even have tour guides. You know why? Because we are not refurbishing our tourist areas. The last time I was in Upper West region, I felt so sad.
That's my home region.
Okay, I went to Jirapa.
Wow.
You know, Jirapa has.
You passed by my hometown of Nadoli.
Great. I'm glad you're from that area. Jirapa is very historic. Once upon a time, slave raiders would come to the Jirapa areas and the people would hide in the rocks. I'm sure you're familiar with those rocks.
Yes.
I mean, this is history. The other day I was in Kintampo. And you know what I saw? A mango tree planted by Kwame Nkrumah.
Wow.
Yes, it's still there today, till date. A mango tree, more than a 60-year-old mango tree planted by Kwame Nkrumah. We are not marketing it. And yet we want to go and spend holidays in Paris, and that is what the white man has programmed you to believe, because they want your money. So the rich people in Africa, they pick their passports and they're going to Europe and North America. All well and good, but at least spend some time and know your continent and know your Africa and explore. All right. So these are the little things we can do to bring about growth in our continent and to create jobs for our people.
Good. So let's end on this note. For those of us who would not be able to join you on this trip that you are embarking on, what would be your message to us as we cheer you on and watch you in your exploits?
Keep us in your prayers so that we begin safely and come back home safely. If you're not following me on Twitter or X, please do. It's at Ras Mubarak. There'll be a lot of updates on Twitter. Those of you on Facebook, the blue app, if you search for me, Ras Mubarak, it's a verified account. And Ras is R-A-S and then Mubarak, M-U-B-A-R-A-K. There would be some updates there regularly. Of course, your TV channel would get exclusives because you are one of our official, media partners. And all of the other official media partners, whether it's South African Broadcasting Corporation, whether it's Mahoto FM or Radio Gold or Asasi Radio, we'll bring viewers and listeners updates. So I also want to thank you very much for this opportunity to engage on an issue about Africa. Let's keep the borders open. As the brother from Tanzania said, if we open the borders, it would create more jobs, it would create more opportunities. And as a matter of fact, that is our hashtag. So the hashtag is Open Africa, Open Opportunities. And so whatever you post online, please put the hashtag Open Africa, Open Opportunities. And once again, the journey would start on the 18th of August. And all things being equal, man proposes, God disposes. We should be back in Ghana in 120 days. That's 4 months exactly on the road, preaching the message of visa-free Africa and African unity.
Wow. Perfect. As we said, we probably, it's not probably, we really wouldn't be able to be with you, but we are going to follow you along your journey. And let me float another idea by you. Probably midway through the trip, if you find yourself in places with steady internet, we probably can have another conversation so that
we would have good internet, God willing,
Yes.
because one of the major telecoms companies in our country is coming on board to give us a free roaming internet. So
yes,
hopefully along the way we can share experiences
Exactly.
as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So that we get to travel along with you, even though we would not be with you in your vehicles. But
Absolutely.
we wish you well in the trip. We are hopeful and we pray that you have a very nice trip and that you come along with the wealth of experience, so that and like I said, you don't keep your experiences just to yourself, but you share them with the rest of us to encourage Africans, so that we don't just sit and watch each other from afar, but we integrate and talk to each other and get to know each other better. And like our brother from Tanzania said, open opportunities to ourselves and enrich ourselves. We have everything we have everything it takes in the African continent to make it in that continent and to be wealthy and prosperous. God did not put us on that continent for no reason. He put us there for a reason, and we can prosper in it. And we can do that when we leverage our resources and get to know each other, interact, and create opportunities for ourselves. On this note, we would like to say a very big thank you to you, Honorable Ras Mubarak, for joining us on the show. We are grateful that you have made time to be with us and to share with us this wonderful opportunity. And we will be with you along the journey, and we wish you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. And God bless you. And God bless the viewers and listeners out there. I hope that everyone keeps safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to all our viewers and listeners who have joined us today, we also say a very big thank you to you. We say a big thank you to our listeners and viewers, our listeners on Sakina Information Center in Tatali. Also, we say a very big thank you to our listeners on High FM 3.7 in Achuhimai. Also, thank you to our listeners on the King's Radio in Accra. And thank you to all those who are joining us on all social media platforms. We are grateful to you for joining us this evening and every evening. And till we come your way again next week with another exciting show, we say stay blessed, stay safe. God bless you. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Good evening.
The country where I come from, the truth is irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are them go so confused the call. Now by area why no better. We are them go so confused the call. One guy's out here why no better. Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, he need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend on a nine come at them. Only papi obeka nice and yeah. So I want